Federal governments formally divide the sovereign power between a central government and the regions that form part of the country. The central government is still the leader of the whole nation, but allows the different regions or states to have control over their internal affairs. These states can have their leaders and laws, but are not independent nations. The reason why federalism wants to decentralize some of the functions of the government is to promote efficiency. This is usually the case for bigger countries, because it's easier for smaller territories to govern themselves than allowing a central government to govern an entire nation. It's similar to how the head coach of a sports team needs to delegate roles to his assistant coaches. The assistant coaches have a sense of independence in their roles, but they are still under the overall leadership of the head coach. The most common example of a federal government is the United States of America, which is under the leadership of a president but has different state senators that manage their territories and constituents.
Bosangani Africa is a federal government, which means African countries and African leaders will be able to control and lead their own countries, but under Bosangani Africa. Bosangani Africa is just here to become the backbone of Africa, the backbone of the black people. When there's problem and there's crisis in Africa, Bosangani Africa is here to change and to help and to support and to remove every crisis and every obstacles that comes to Africans and in Africa. Bosangani Africa is here to unite African countries, networking with African countries by coming up with a single currency where trading amongst African countries will be easier. Bosangani Africa is here to industrialize cars in Africa so that we don't rely on foreigners to import cars from outsiders. There's many of broken and damaged cars from foreigners that's used and being imported in Africa for Africans to buy and use. Bosangani Africa will open plenty of industrialization in Africa, like car industrialization, metal industrialization. Africa is dirty. Let me tell you a story. During colonization, one of our ancestors was given a candy by the colonizers. And he took that candy, he opened the plastic, and he threw the plastic down in the floor. To this day, the plastic is still there. It's still waiting for our ancestors to come and pick it up. There is generational and generational of garbage in Africa. Bosangani Africa will manufacture garbage trucks that want to clean Africa, make a safe and a clean environment for the new young Africans. Environment plays a major role in society. If African children continue to grow up in a dirty environment, having a dirty environment, it's rewiring the African children to consider less of themselves, to not expect more of themselves. Bosangani Africa is here to clean generational garbage in Africa. Bosangani Africa is here to shoot a satellite to space so we can give thousands of Africans access to internet. Bosangani Africa will manufacture phones in Africa so we don't rely on foreigners to import phones from outside. Bosangani Africa is here to bring change that the world has never seen before. Africa deserves major development, and Bosangani Africa is here to offer the major development for Africans. Bosangani Africa is the Africa we all have been waiting for. Bosangani Africa is here to become the backbone of African leaders and African presidents. With a federal government, it will be easy for Africans to trade among each other. It will be easy for Africans to travel in each other's countries, to have one passport, to open borders. Bosangani Africa is a union made to replace the African Union. The African Union is not a union to unite black people or to help black people trade amongst each other. There's many rivers in Africa. We can build thousands of dams in Africa and ignite electricity for millions of people. Having electricity alone wanna create millions of jobs. Bosangani Africa brings a single currency. The Afro currency will play a major role in trading amongst African countries. Every African country under Bosangani Africa will use the Afro currency. The Afro currency will help with trade, will help with purchases that African currencies cannot buy. All these African currencies are nothing but toilet papers. They have no value. If you are to take the Nigerian Naira to South Africa, the Nigerian Naira has no value in South Africa. If you are to take South Africa's Rand to Nigeria, the South Africa's Rand has no value in Nigeria. The Afro currency will be backed by gold and by the African land, so that you're gonna have more value than any African currency. Bosangani Africa's currency will hold more weight than many African currencies. With Bosangani Africa, there will be many of jobs being made every year. Bosangani Africa is here to take Africa to the next level that it's meant to be. Africa is the youngest generation today, and this young generation, they want a leader who's gonna take them forward. They don't want a bunch of presidents to exploit them and to take advantage of them. And the new generation aren't gonna live the same as our ancestors did. The new generation deserve better, and Bosangani Africa is here to give that better to the new generation of Africa. Bosangani Africa will take Africa to the next level it's meant to be.